What's up, Juventus? We've got a ton to discuss today. You've got a done deal, a contract extension set to get closed out, a player saying goodbye to Juventus, an update on Chico Conceição. You have Florentino Luis and Jonathan David deals in limbo from Giuntoli and now in decisive days. We'll go over those details. A wild report from Albanese that Juve's working on Donnarumma. We're going to look at all of that and the front office starting to take shape. It appears Tognozzi's out, Masada's in, but Tudor had 3 requests for the new management. What are those requests? We'll look at it. And Inter merda in a scandal and nobody wants to talk about it. I'll talk about it today. We're going to look at all this together right now. I'm Berto. This is the AJC, your channel dedicated to Juventus. It's June 5th. Let's rock with the news. We kick things off with a birthday shout out going out to Pierre Kalulu. He celebrates his birthday today, and what better way to celebrate than finalizing the deal? Juve has redeemed Kalulu from Milan. It is finalized. He sees himself on a contract at Juve to 2029. And this is especially good news because Veiga is gone. We say our goodbyes to Renato Veiga. He returns to Chelsea. He will not be playing for Juve at the Club World Cup. What are we going to do at the backline? As discussed here, Kalulu has been redeemed by Juventus. You have Rugani returning to the mix. And you have Facundo Gonzalez returning to Juventus. You have Gil Push in next gen. And Savona, despite the uncertainty we talked about a few days ago, it appears it is full steam ahead for his contract extension. This comes to us from Nico Schira, claiming he will be extended by Juventus to 2030. Of course, this doesn't prevent a deal or a sale, but he is being extended by Juventus. I still say, with the names we have here going into the Club World Cup, I'd like to see us pick up a top center back. Was that one of Tudor's requests? We'll get to that in a bit here. As far as a couple deals that are left in limbo, apparently Giuntoli was working on 2 players, Florentino Luis and Jonathan David. For Florentino Luis, apparently it was extremely close to finding an agreement with the player, and then Juve would have to work out their roster and be able to facilitate him. For Jonathan David, apparently terms were agreed upon. 6 million euro salary, 2 million euro in bonuses, and a sign-on fee that apparently Jonathan David is requesting between 20 to 25 million for a signing bonus. This was still deemed as a good deal by Juventus because of the fact that his market value is even higher than one of the other targets like Retegui at 45 million euros. So to pick him up with that signing bonus and at that salary, which does fall in line for us, they still saw it as a good deal. But we are now in decisive days on these players. What will Comoli decide? We have to wait and see. But it is decisive days, and these deals are in limbo. As far as Chico Conceição goes, it's another one that apparently now is in limbo. He scored a fantastic goal yesterday for Portugal against Germany in Nations League. Saw a lot of comments of Juventus saying, why can't he do that for Juve? Well, if you take a look at the defense there, I don't think he's ever going to see space like that in Serie A. Nonetheless, a fantastic goal for Chico Conceição. Everything remains in limbo. He will represent Juve at Club World Cup. We wait for after that for the new management's evaluation on the player. Wild rumor. You've got Albanese coming out here claiming that Donnarumma is being worked on by Juventus behind the scenes, and it is not out of the question that Donnarumma leaves PSG. Now, he tacks on to this that the reason is Di Gregorio. He was obviously picked up on the cheap by Juventus, a very good deal, and he has interest, serious interest, with clubs out of the Premier League and also clubs in Italy. So it's a situation to monitor according to Albanese. For me, if we're factoring in Comoli coming in and his body of work, it doesn't make the most sense because I don't think you're going to get as big a capital as you're expecting on Di Gregorio to then take on Donnarumma, who's going to be big money. It just doesn't fit his MO, you know. But of course, you can't rule anything out. Anything can happen, but I'm not buying this one bit. What do you guys think? Hit me in the comments. Meanwhile, the front office, it looks like the decisions are ready to be made final. Tognozzi is apparently very close to Arsenal, so it appears he is not going to be rejoining Juventus. And it appears that Massara will come in as sporting director for Juventus. What about Tognozzi as chief scout, which was listed at the beginning? It appears Victor Bezzani, who was technical director at Toulouse with Comoli, is set to come in and be the chief scout at Juventus. Meanwhile, Tudor had his meeting with Comoli yesterday, and apparently there were some requests made, 3 to be exact, by Igor Tudor. One is a contract extension to 2027 so that he's not working through an already expired project. The second is he wants to expand his coaching staff from people within Juventus so he doesn't have to work limited with just the people he brought in to save face at the end of this past season. And the last one is 3 or 4 top and key signings for Juventus. It's not out of the question, but I don't know about that contract extension. Everything else is absolutely fine. The signings must happen. As far as the coaching staff expanding, absolutely. We can promote from within to help. But the contract extension? No, not so much. Not so much. You have to leave yourself in a position where you can openly reassess the scenario at season's end. That's my thoughts, but what do you think? Hit me in the comments. And now, Inter Merda. A scandal comes up. First off, I hear their fans are crying a lot about us hate watching the Champions League final. Oh my God, that's pathetic. I never watched Juve in the Champions League finals. Listen, you guys are pathetic. I see pathetic cases all over this channel all the time that start new accounts just to come into this channel. You guys are pathetic. We're not tuning in to watch you on a Saturday or a Sunday against Cremonese or Venezia. This is a Champions League final. A football fan's going to watch the Champions League final. What's pathetic is your showing in that Champions League final. So continue to hold that L. There. Read the shirt. All right? Now, as far as the scandal goes, this is the claim, is essentially that from 2016 to 2019, when they were having financial difficulties and they had to come within FFP parameters, they got a boost in revenue, a big boost. It like doubled in revenue. But now the claims are that this was through fake sponsors. It also claims that authorities, Covisoc, that takes care of the financial authorities in Italy, were pressured to make sure nothing happened to them by mafia that has since been shown to have ties with the ultras of Inter. And apparently the FIGC has allowed them to get by with all of this and still register in the league. These are the claims being made right now. If you speak to a Inter Merda fan, they'll tell you this is fake news. This was only brought on because of the fact that UEFA's already dealt with this back in 2019. And this is just fake news. Listen, they're partly correct. Back then in 2019, UEFA settled with Inter. They had to pay a certain amount and then they had an extension to come within those parameters. But this is where the problem arises. Nobody went in depth and inspected those actual funds, where they're coming from, those companies. Furthermore, when you're in debt and your companies are getting sponsors and whatnot, these people have to show their revenue. They have to show their financial statements so that everyone knows if push comes to shove, you can have your debts covered by the entities stepping in. That was never done. Teams have failed to register and been banned from registering for less. So all these claims are now new. So yes, they settled with UEFA back then, and then they met the parameters. But what's being claimed now is that they met the parameters in a completely false manner with fake sponsorships. And everybody else is completely quiet on this. Italian media not saying a thing. Does it surprise you? Doesn't surprise me. I've been telling you guys for years. Amici di nessuno. It's an absolute joke. If Juventus was involved in something, this would have been front page absolutely everywhere. And now it's right in front of us for all of you to see everything we've been saying since day one. There is one absolute filthy and complete scumbag club in Serie A. It's them. It's not even being hidden anymore. This is a joke, and it disgusts me that the media is hush on it, especially big entities. Fabrizio Romano doesn't want to talk about it at all. But if a player that played 2 games for Juventus does something wrong, the headline reads ex-Juventus player. It's a joke. It's an absolute joke. To all involved, right here. There. Put the pressure on. Serie A, FIGC, you guys want to punish first and investigate later when it came to Juventus on something that was frowned upon with no rules or regulations to it. And now, completely silent. It's bullshit, everybody. It's bullshit. And on that note, I can't wait to hear from all of you on this news break. You know what to do. Like the video, subscribe to the channel, join our AJC army. We are live in a couple days on Saturday morning. And tomorrow, another news update. As always, till then, fino alla fine, forza Juventus, ciao tutti.